Hello ladies and gentlemen, SeKo Starcraft back bringing you one of his amateur BS replays. This time we've got Omniscient playing as the Zerg player. Well, I'm still playing as random, but got Zerg. Going up against another Zerg player. He doesn't know I'm going Zerg yet, but I know he's Zerg, and I know I'm Zerg, and that means that I'm not super happy about the matchup. Poprocks, another Platinum League fellow gamer, was actually in Masters League at one point there. Doing some diamond work there for team stuff, so no slouch. When I looked at his profile, he's only played a few dozen games, so I'm assuming he just kind of let his ranking slide over the times, just like me. But as a ZvZ, we're gonna see if there's anything funky about how we're gonna open up here. And my mindset going into this, because I hate Zerg versus Zerg, and I think a lot of other people do, because it's probably the most dropped matchup I get when the game loads and then it just exits. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that just hate playing it just as much as I do. But in this game here, I'm going to go for a 12 pool. Just because my intention is to go for a really big swarm of zerglings into the early game and just try to crush face. So I'm going to skip a bit of economy and hope to catch them off guard. That's my plan. Get up somewhere around 26 to 30 lings. Speed may not be finished when the attack just happens, but at least finished along the way. And just try to take the game outright with some early pressure, or at least put myself in such a lead as to not be able to stop it. It's interesting that he decided to actually go pool and then extractor just as he was about to move out and expand. Maybe he saw... Did he see my overlord yet? Yeah, I did see my overlord. So maybe he said, oh, it's ZvZ, now I actually got to go home and play a bit more defensive. So he's going to have a little bit of an economy lead over me. And his gas much sooner. I skipped getting my gas a little bit sooner because I wanted to get out the economy, get my queen down, get out the overlords I need so I can get the numbers. The numbers mean more to me than necessarily the speed does, essentially because zergling speed doesn't make you attack any faster, it just means you can get to the place you're attacking faster. I'm hoping that's not going to be a factor in this. So units wise, pretty even on economy. I'll have a slight lead in mineral intake because I'm not getting my gas right now. And my ling production has started. I haven't even bothered scouting my opponent with the drone. I need all the economy I can. By opening up with a 12 pool high pressure build, I know that if he's going to pressure me, I will be able to defend it. And if he doesn't know that it's coming, I might just win straight out. He is going to come down here and get that hatch. So fairly delayed. It's at about 21 supply for him. And for me, you can see that his speed is started much earlier than mine. I'm just starting to get gas. But I do start getting that little bit of a numbers lead on zerglings. But my time is limited. If I get down here too late and this hatch goes up, he's obviously going to have a higher production value because you have this other hatch to work with. Yes. I do have enough minerals, so I'm going to go ahead and throw down my expansion as well. Like I said, if this doesn't work out, I do want to be able to transition out of it. If I had a baneling nest down perhaps and got my gas sooner, I wouldn't get a hatch because I'm going to need all the resources I can by taking all the gas. Hiding my ling numbers here. I see him working on these rocks. He's attacking my queen a bit, but it's going to get away just fine. And units-wise, we can see he's got a couple drone lead there. He's up at 17. But now he's producing a ton of zerglings as well. He hasn't scouted me. It just turns out that he's got a very similar strategy to what I do at this stage of the game, which is I'm going to build a ton of lings right around when I expect that hatchery to go up. And then I'm going to go and attack it. So we can see his lings already starting to flood across the map. So I'm just bringing up the units tab and we can see this will tell a bit better of a story as to what's going on here. So I've got a slight edge in... well, actually, quite a big edge right now in zerglings. He's got a smallest of edge in workers. I believe that his speed is finished. My speed is not finished yet. He's going to do a really smart thing here and actually do a concave at the bottom of the ramp. This is really negating the numbers that I have at this stage. So, I give him credit for doing that. It's very smart. He is much faster than me, so you see that he is playing around a little bit. He knows there's a speed difference, so he's actually going to take me on a bit of a merry-go-round here. Try to come back and get the cancel on this hatch. It's very important to get the cancel on this hatch if you invest a lot into zerglings here. Unfortunately for him, he's going to lose a handful on the way out. back to production. Nothing but piles of lings from both of us. But now I've built enough zerglings that I think I'm either going to win with or not, because he knows what's coming. So behind this, I'm droning up and getting a crawler. On his side, I'm just going to attack into this. I don't know if it's going to work. I just have to do as much damage as I can. I'm going to trade my zerglings away and hope to transition into a better economy after this. We can see that it turns out pretty good for me in the grand scheme of things. It essentially evens everything out. But if we go back to the units tab, I've got a 5 worker lead, about to be a 10 worker lead, just because he's building more zerglings now, and he built those 2 crawlers and a baneling nest that I really have very little intention of doing anything with. I'm sitting in a bit of a funky spot myself. I'm getting my baneling nest down because I'm still deciding in my mind what's my next point for transition. I actually was hoping to just win right there, but it didn't happen. So my ZvZ is going to go on longer. Still building drones. If he's going to attack me, if he just kept building banelings and zerglings right now, he probably could come back and crush me. It's the risk you take by droning up behind your attack as a Zerg player. I have a 3rd queen out though, so hopefully help me keep alive a bit longer. Then I decide I've got this gas sitting around. What can I do with it? I'm going to go lair. And you can see my opponent's got this giant stack of gas himself, but he hasn't really made a plan as to what he's going to be doing with it yet. Get down my Evo chambers. I'm going to get down a roach warren. I'm hoping this throws him off a little bit. If he does scout this, I'm hoping that he thinks I'm going roaches, when in truth, for the first time you guys might see in a long time, I'm going to go for Mutalisk. I am having myself a Saz Republic Pills by Big Rock Brewery. I actually kind of like it. It's a beer. It's nothing too crazy about it. Nothing good or bad. It's just a beer. Walls are up. Still building nothing but workers behind this. I'm also going to get myself... I'm trying to keep up with my injects a little bit better there. I know it's been a bit of a trouble for me for a long time is getting those injects really going. But, you know, I keep switching between playing Zerg, Protoss, and Terran, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty on some of my mechanics here. My opponent, you see, is interested in going for his expansion, and he's got this very interesting scattering of banelings. I'm pretty sure I scared him into thinking I'm really going to come at him with a big Zergling baneling follow-up. Just as I thought he was going to do the same thing for me. The difference is this wall's really going to serve me a lot of good. These banelings aren't going to do him much value over the next little bit. I'm investing quite a bit into getting up these spine crawlers. But that's the way it goes. Battle of the Century. Yes. I don't know why I won that fight necessarily. I thought he hit me first. But I do have that small regenerating HP. And he's actually going to take a few hits off of this here hatch before it gets cleaned up. Spire's almost finished. Now I make this mistake every single time I'm about to do a big transition point, as I don't have enough overlords in production. I've got one on the way right now, but it won't be finished by the time my Spire is. So unfortunately for me, I'm not going to be able to capitalize on a quick amount of production right now. You see, I can only get 4 out. Overlord's about to pop. It's not too big of a deal, about another 5-6 seconds. But it's frustrating when that happens to you. I know I've only got a select period of time I have to be able to attack. He is getting a spore in each base because I think he's assuming this is what's coming. But I'm starting to learn now, playing this style of a muta-based Zerg play. Where did my mutas go? Mutas? There they are. That this play, though it's not going to win you the game outright, and it almost never does anymore. Maybe in Wings of Liberty I used to be able to do like a mutalist transition against a Terran or a Protoss and just win. But what this is going to do is I've got to just try to deny his 3rd base, deny some vision, and then be able to go and macro up behind this. What's up with that? Oh, that Zergling was moonwalking. That was cool. Put a few hits on the hatch, but I decide I have this time here. I might as well try to get in the damage I can onto things that are less recoverable. Kill a queen. Does have 1 spore in the back. Spore crawler is essentially 3-shot mutas right now. So I'm going to try and kill a few workers off, which is nice. Was going to go after the spore crawler, But once again, they just kill through things too fast. I need these to stay alive. He's moving into roaches, which I can see down here as well. I'm going to kill everything I can. These overlords are going to supply block him a lot. Now I'm going to come back down here, kill another queen, kill this spore crawler before it has a chance to get up and kill all my mutas. Behind this, I've got an expansion on the way. And a handful of more mutas going into here. My economy isn't fantastic at this point. 54 to 39, that's pretty decent, but I'm still only on 2 hatch right now. Picking off a few roaches. I did see these roaches on the way down here, so I'm going to start hitting them with these. And once this hatch is down, I will move up to actually take out those roaches. Move my workers away so they don't die. And behind this, I'm not focused on getting out more mutas. You can see I've got this giant bank of minerals. My next thought here is to move into a really heavy roach hydra combination. These mutas are putting in work for me. I'm going to go snipe off whatever overlords and little things I can. Keep focusing on getting my economy up and moving good. The gas is a big limiting thing for me right now. You can see we've got an infestation pit and a hydra den. This is what I always do when I start getting mutas as a Zerg play. I'm like, well, I need to get infestors to lock them down, and I got to get hydras to shoot them down. But ultimately, it's a little bit more difficult than that. When I'm watching pros try to deal with muta-based attacks, generally what you're going to see them do is get up a big hydra ball, but they understand that generally the follow-up between your mutalisks and anything else is going to be roaches and hydras. There really isn't a big there isn't really this overcommitment into mutas very often. It's not too often you'll see a Zerg versus Zerg where you go up to 20 or 30 mutas. You see that micro back of the weak mutas? Wasn't that sick? So pro. Except for that muta. He deserved to die. Some spine crawlers. Got the economy over here. I should be taking my gases sooner. You can see I've got a giant mineral pile. It's not the meters that, sorry, the minerals that really matter. Now I'm starting to get into my roach production. I'm going to make another queen because I've got all this money and I keep missing my injects. So I'm actually trying to set myself up to just really macro through this and get that really huge army that I need to of roaches and hydras to go after this guy. Upgrades wise, you can see I've got 1-1. Just started up right now. I think my opponent, yeah, he's finished 1-1 right now. But he hasn't started on his 2-2 yet. So there's a small timing window for him right now. But it's very difficult to really want to move out until you have that third hatch down. I have seen players do a really good job, though, when they're Zerg, of just staying on 2 bases, maybe getting a macro hatch like this, and then just piling out the roaches and the hydras. The big limiting factor, though, is that gas. And I sniped out that hatchery once again. I see these coming down here. I see what he's moving into. I come back for a second, and you can see I click on one of these roaches, just because what I want to do is see what his upgrades are at. They're at 1-1 right now, so I know he's got a lead in the upgrades, which is going to stop me from wanting to push out too soon. Lots of production here. I've got 5 hatches on 3 bases. Got the gas taken here. I just haven't put things into gas yet. I should be doing that at some point. Whatever. So we're in a little bit of a funky middle ground right now. Nobody's doing too much. He just wants to macro up into getting his infestors out. He did get his pathogen glands finished up, so they all have enough for a fungal. And he's building more workers right now. I've had a pretty good economy lead for quite a while. Now that he's finally been able to keep control of this area, he should be able to get that third base down pretty fast. Man, I suck at paying attention to my gas. You see I'm moving my crawlers around, so I'm looking at this area. It just has not occurred to me yet that, yeah, I need to put people in here. There we go. Smart boy. Getting another hatch over here. Just getting myself into a position where I can't really lose. We can see he's got his 2-2 started. My 2-2's not far behind that. Roach speed and Hydra speed haven't been done yet, but this is a pretty small map. Now this might look like a really impressive death mix, but the problem is that the roaches tank so much damage so well, and you can carve through Hydra so fast, that just a pure Hydra army in a ZvZ is generally not that good. He does have the infestors here, so if he got some really sick fungals and stayed out of range with these Hydras, he would probably be able to get a lot of damage in, right? Because I'm out of range being able to attack him. You see right now do I have my groove spines yet? I don't think I do. I don't even know what my Hydrodent is yet. No, I don't have either of those yet. So he's moving around. He's got enough army out now to be able to get another base. Getting spores just to keep himself safe. So he is transitioning essentially into the mid-late game here pretty decently. But now I'm maxed out. I know my upgrades aren't finished yet, but what's really important for me at this stage is I can't build any more, and I'm almost certainly going to have more units than he does. So now I have to start trading. I have to go down there and start doing damage to him. That way, I know for certain that I can recover my army faster. Now his army's down here to try and break down these rocks. I see it. I'm actually going to catch him a little bit off guard here. Pretty good fungals on some of the units there, but a lot of his infestors get sniped down before they even get off a lot of their fungals. There he goes. Now I see that these Hydras here, even with the same upgrades, they'll just get destroyed so fast. I don't really care about my mutas living through this. I was perfectly fine with them all dying. So I'm going to come down here and work on this base. Hydras are awesome because of the DPS. We can see not a single drone's going to make it through here alive. Now that's very sucky when you have all that stuff spawn. It's one of the boons of being a Zerg player is when you're getting attacked at one of your hatcheries or you have an army between your hatcheries, your army's split up and they're just going to get rolled. Hydra's getting picked off fairly needlessly. These mutas are going to come over here, just snipe what they can. There's no reason not to, really. Another big army back at home ready to go. 2-2's finished for all of us right now. I'm pretty sure I did get these. Oh, I still didn't get my Hydra upgrades. Man, I'm a jerk. So, once again, I always assumed I was going to be able to max out an army faster. So, coming down here, ready to go. Now I'm getting all my stuff. Groove Spines, Enduring Locusts, Ventricle, whatever the hell they are. Tunneling Claws. Roaches tank the damage well, come right on top of here. Split up his army. And that's going to be all she wrote, essentially. And that's one of the first GG well-playeds I've had in a long time. And I think that's what you get when you play against higher caliber people, that they just... If this was a pretty good game, I thought I played it pretty decently. There's obviously things I could do to improve, like hitting my injects, getting my gases sooner when I've got a massively gas-focused play. But overall, I thought I came at that with a very good improvisation, considering the opening strategy was to try to do a Ling all-in win. Hope you guys enjoyed that SeKo Starcraft Platinum League action. We'll talk with you later.